I'm kinda 1 week behind, so to speak, because last week I got a bit of a cold, so I couldn't record and draw. So yeah, these are recordings from 1 week ago. So I started off the week with a little cat girl drawing, and yeah, it was just a fun little doodle that I did. I eventually ended up coloring it. Didn't really have a big idea in the beginning of what I was gonna do, but then as I got to the shoulders of the character, I decided, okay, I'm gonna do a bit of this provocative look of some sort of a. Presumably, she would be like an undercover assassin or something. I don't know. So yeah, I ended up adding some little details here and there on her clothes, not too much, and here I'm defining the outlines a little bit more, and eventually I will start getting to the colors. I kind of like to flash characters out like this, makes them pop out a lot. I didn't really do this in the past, and things felt very, how should I say it, I'm not being able to find the right word. Things felt very flat, so to speak. They wouldn't overlap in the right way, so yeah. Line weight, very, very important. For the colors, I decided to go with pretty much, simple colors and have a bit of a, God damn it, what's the word? I can't find my words now. And leaving that aside, I kind of tweaked the image a little bit. It felt a little too big on the lower part of her body. The waist and the legs, so I adjusted that a little bit. Here I'm adding some shadows, nothing too fancy, and it's gonna be done in just a few seconds here. I'm not going to, while on the background, I'm just putting a sort of a pale red with a little bit of a gradient. So yeah, this was, I think, let's see, I think it was still Monday. After I had done that sketch, I decided okay, I'm gonna go and do another one. I wasn't really too inspired to work on the comic I am presumably doing right now, so I ended up doing a little sketch of one of my characters, Francine, which is a fox girl from another comic that I didn't really get to work on as of yet. I do have the script for the first, how would I say, I kind of structured everything into episodes, so, but I think the more correct term would be issue. So yeah, issue, episode. Anyway, I kind of have the script for that. Needs some tweaking on the characters of what they're saying, because some of the lines are a bit too cheesy and corny, so yeah. I didn't really go too far with the sketch. Ended up making her in a very lively pose. Wanted this, because you always see anime girls, in poses like this, and I wanted to try one out, see how it would look and how it would turn out, and it turned out pretty nice. Obviously, it's gonna turn out nice when you have a, very curvy character in a pose like this. So yeah, this is gonna end pretty soon. I'm just adding the hair, and then we're gonna add the tail, and probably I did some outlining here and there, not too much. Let's see, and it's done. So yeah, dude, I don't even remember. Jesus, man, should have noted things down. So I decided to kind of change my schedule a little bit, and I decided to wake up at 5 a.m. to draw a little bit before I went to work. So I had some stuff on the list for the comic, and there's some of these trooper guys, some sort of soldier I needed for the villains. So I woke up and I had some ideas and got some reference, and I did these guys. I did something pretty simple, and the comic is called The War Babes, and I would guess, by now the theme of a lot of the equipment and especially the helmets and masks are of skulls. And I wanted to, at first I decided I wanted to just be, particular to the Warbabe characters. But then I said, well, I'm just gonna apply it even to the villains, to everybody, and have it like a motif of, skulls, and I don't really want to give too much out, so I'm gonna stop here. So yeah, I didn't really have like a super good idea of what I was gonna do, is experiment with bits and pieces of armor here and there, but most of all, what was important for me was to get like a gesture, a pose that I can add the stuff to. So I did it. I had a good idea. I mean, I'm gonna use it even in the end when I'm gonna flesh this out, of what I'm gonna do to the lower leg armor pieces, because the upper leg doesn't have armor pieces. It's mostly the pants and some, strips holding either pouches or pistols, and the upper body is like more covered in armor. Let's see. This is gonna be almost done. I'm gonna do another rendition next to this guy. I decided to make like the same version, but with some sort of cloth over him, like protecting him from like the rain or something. And I really like this idea, and I saw it first time in like the Clone Wars, the older series made by Tartakovsky. And I really liked the clone. There was this scene of clone troopers on the hill shooting, and they were in the rain, and they had this cloth over. Now moving on. I think I did this sketch when I got home from work. This was another character for the comic, pre-made one. But at the end I end up not really liking the pose in which I put it to, add details. The thing is, I kind of want to keep things simple and very clean for the most part, because the character itself, she's dressed mostly in rags, so she has kind of a slave outfit. And when I say slave outfits, I think mostly about Conan and the old movies, the one with Schwarzenegger, when they had like these, they had the leather and wool and all sorts of furs and rags and stuck together with straps and stuff like that. I kind of wanted to do that, but I wanted it to be a bit more badass, sort of badass, but that it would let the character be dynamic, because she's gonna need to be dynamic in a few shots in the comic, because she's fighting some bad guys. So yeah, I had some stuff here and there, but I eventually don't really like the posing. It was getting pretty late, and I decided the next morning that I'm gonna wake up at 5 and I'm gonna continue my ludicrous schedule of drawing so early in the morning before going to work. Let's see, this ends about here. So now this is for, again, the next day. When I woke up, I felt a bit iffy. I was like, I don't really want to wake up. But I said, okay, I committed to this. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna draw. So I had gathered some reference the night before, and I had a better idea and understanding of what I wanted to do. So I put her into this, bit twisted pose, and it ended up coming out pretty well as a pose. I still don't really like the face that much. It feels a bit creepy. But she's the same species as the main character, so I guess, I kind of want to go for that chiseled, I would say, skeletal look on the face as well. But it's really hard to get them on females because, we're all used to see, pretty faces on girls, and, rounded and not so many sharp angles. Of course, you can do it with sharp angles in some ways, but I'm not like super good to do it just yet. So yeah, I ended up working a bit more on the outfit here, and I decided to add a lot of leather straps, mostly to the upper body, because that's where most of the rags that her outfit is made out of kind of combine and unite. And because I had time and it was kind of ahead, I decided to add more details like these sort of cuffs. They would have chain little bits, circles of metal attached to them where chains would go. And eventually I even get to do collars, and here I am cleaning things a little bit more up and fleshing the lines out more, and getting ready for the collars. For the collars, I'm gonna say, even before I'm beginning here, try to keep it again very simple, not that many, not such a gigantic color palette. Wanted pretty standard skin tone, nothing too fancy, and with a bit of a tan, so to speak. Because she's a slave here, and obviously being a slave, they would work a lot in the sun, not very good working conditions, and she would get a tan. For the straps I went with, and for the clothes I went up, for the rags with some light colors, and for the straps went out with some darker brown. Very, very simple. What the hell did I call these? The cuffs, yeah, the cuffs. A bit of a blue to suggest metal, and the hair I wanted to have a bit of a contrast, have it very light, almost bleach blondie. And yeah, here I'm reaching the end, so yeah, this was a short week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.